Today I'm going to show you an action thriller film titled Assassins. Be ready for spoilers ahead. The movie kicks off with a flashback showing an assassin named Robert waiting for the perfect moment to take out his target, Nikolai, who happens to be his best friend and mentor. Nikolai exits a bank after receiving a hefty sum of money, and Robert kills him from a distance using a sniper rifle. 15 years later, Robert is still working for a secret service and is known as the world's #1 assassin. He brings his current target to a remote forest, and as they walk, the man tries to negotiate with Robert, offering to double the money if he spares his life. However, Robert remains silent and instead hands the man a loaded gun, instructing him to shoot himself. Having no other option, the man follows Robert's orders and says his final prayers. Robert's expression shows he is more and more heavily considering retirement for himself as he is tired of his job and its lifestyle. He also feels quite lonely since he lost his best friend and mentor, Nikolai, whom he murdered 15 years ago. As soon as he confirms to his contractor that the target has been terminated, Robert is offered another contract, a mobster attending his brother's funeral. Robert disguises himself as a man with a broken arm, using the arm cast to hide his pistol, and positions himself in front of the mobster. As he's about to make his move and eliminate the target, he notices that someone else has already taken the shot and killed the target. Robert then exchanges fire with the unknown killer, who allows himself to get arrested by the police when he realizes he is stuck between Robert and the cops, which he considers the safer option. Robert decides to follow them. Unbeknownst to the officers, the assassin dislocates his thumb to escape the handcuffs. He breaks the window and snaps the driver's neck, causing the car to crash and overturn. The assassin retrieves his weapon and shoots the driver of an approaching police car, causing it to collide with them. He then disappears upon changing the clothes. Robert arrives late at the scene and finds the dead officers, but there's no sign of the killer who killed his target. That night, Robert hears police radio chatter identifying the assassin's possible location, so he decides to steal a taxi, hoping to pick up the assassin. Robert's plan succeeds when the assassin hails his taxi, requesting to be taken to the airport. However, Robert deliberately passes the airport, leading to an argument. Pretending to be annoyed, Robert stops near the playground and asks the assassin to exit the vehicle and find another ride, but before he can get out, the assassin realizes Robert is not the real driver. They aim their guns at each other, and the assassin recognizes Robert from the cemetery as the #1 assassin. The assassin learns that the taxi's glass between is bulletproof, and Robert would shoot him if he leaves the cab. The man introduces himself to be Miguel, a fellow assassin and a competitive sociopath. He's a super fan of Robert but still wants to kill him to officially become the #1 assassin. Robert tells him he robbed his contract, and he's going to kill him for that. Miguel, to save his life, points at the kids playing football and threatens Robert to drive the taxi. Suddenly, Miguel breaks the car window and tries to kill Robert, but Robert fights back. He continues driving and slams Miguel against a high-speed bus until Miguel drops his weapon. As Robert prepares to get out of the car to kill Miguel, but their maneuvering has attracted the cops' attention, and now they're being chased. Suddenly Miguel jumps out of the cab unnoticed by the cops and escapes. Robert acted swiftly and smartly by driving into a taxi parking lot filled with vehicles, successfully escaping the police chase. When Robert gets to his apartment, he contacts his contractor and inquires about Miguel, but the contractor informs him he doesn't know him. The contractor offers Robert another contract worth $2 million, though Robert is hesitant. He reluctantly accepts it while muttering to himself that this will be his last mission before he retires. Robert's next target is a woman named Electra, who is a skilled hacker with a stolen, highly valuable piece of information. Electra plans to sell this information stored on a disk for $40,000 to Dutch buyers. Robert is instructed to kill the 4 Dutchmen, retrieve the disk, and eliminate Electra. The next day, Electra goes to a hotel, where she plans to negotiate with the buyers. Meanwhile, Robert arrives at the airport, and after spotting the buyers, he follows them to Electra's location. At the hotel, Robert tries to catch up with the buyers in the elevator, but he misses them and has to find another way to discover their room. Unbeknownst to him, Miguel is also in the elevator with the buyers. Robert uses the hotel's computer system to locate Electra's and the buyers' rooms, and as they pay an upfront deposit of $10,000 for the disk, the transaction halts when Miguel suddenly enters the buyers' room and kills them all. Hearing Electra over the speaker asking about the buyer's status, Miguel responds, telling her to continue the transmission. Realizing what's happening, Electra deletes all data being transmitted from her disk, which greatly frustrates Miguel. As Electra prepares to leave, Robert breaks into her room brandishing a gun and stops her. Miguel hears them over the radio and swears to find and kill them both. Robert takes the disk from Electra while Miguel urges him to kill their target. However, Robert isn't used to killing women, but ultimately he pulls the trigger. When Miguel arrives in the room, he realizes that Robert didn't kill the girl, he shot the pillow instead. As Robert and Electra drive down the street, she realizes that she can't trust Robert and tries to find a way to escape from him. Electra runs away from the vehicle, accidentally leaving her pet cat behind, which Robert takes as she boards the bus. Meanwhile, Miguel finds several pictures of Electra's cat at a particular location and plans to pay her a visit. Robert and Electra's cat went to a pet shop that she frequently visits to find out where she stays. A while later, Electra returns her apartment and starts packing to leave, but sees on security footage that Miguel has shot her neighbor in the forehead. Robert arrives at Electra's place with the cat as Miguel continues searching for the disc. When Robert and Miguel finally cross paths, they engage in a brutal gunfight. Electra's female neighbor attempts to flee, but Miguel shoots her and takes the gift box she is holding, thinking it contains the disc. Robert comes up with an idea to set off an explosion aimed at Miguel, but when the explosion occurs, Miguel quickly takes action and escapes, falling from a window. After confirming Miguel's escape, Robert quickly leaves with Electra in the vehicle to a hotel, where they formally introduce themselves. As Electra continues questioning Robert, she suddenly grabs the gun on the table and points it at him. However, Robert remains unfazed by her threats. He tells her that even if she kills him now, Miguel will still find and kill her no matter how much she tries to hide. In frustration, Electra fires 3 times but misses. Robert calmly approaches her to take the gun away from her. Meanwhile, Miguel contacts his contractor and explains the situation. Miguel confirms the killing of the buyers and Electra, but he failed to retrieve the disc. The contractor becomes furious at Miguel's failure and cancels the contract, which also boils over Miguel's frustrations. On the other hand, Robert also contacts his contractor, confirming the possession of the disc. Robert demands $2 million in exchange for it, and the contractor agrees to the deal. Robert offers Electra $500,000 if she helps him with his plan. Everything proceeds smoothly, but Robert quickly realizes there is a bomb in the suitcase instead of cash. He dumps the suitcase just in time to watch it explode from the rearview mirror. Lucky for them, Electra didn't trust Robert entirely and had given him a fake disc. Now convinced his contractor is actively trying to kill him, Robert offers to surrender the disc in exchange for $20 million instead of the original $2 million and requests it to be wired to a specific bank in the Caribbean before he delivers the disc. The contractor agrees to Robert's conditions but hires Miguel to eliminate him. Robert and Electra travel to the bank the next day before the transfer, where he identifies the decrepit, abandoned hotel that he knows Miguel will use as a sniping post and plans a trap. Eventually, Miguel reaches the top of the hotel and sets up his equipment, unaware that Electra is watching him from outside. Robert enters the bank to confirm the transfer of funds and requests the manager to close his account. The bank manager tells him that the process requires a lot of time, and Robert agrees to wait all day since it's part of his plan. While Robert waits comfortably inside the bank, Miguel is patiently waiting by the window with his sniper, ready to kill Robert as soon as he exits. However, as the wait drags on, Miguel starts to grow impatient, so he decides to enter the bank to confirm Robert's presence. Unbeknownst to him, Electra rushes back to the hotel to hide his sniper rifle. Unfortunately, Miguel had hidden the weapon at a higher location. Once Miguel enters the bank, Robert offers to give Miguel all the money they'll receive if he lets him live. Driven by fantasy of becoming the world's top assassin, Miguel refuses the offer. Electra tries to reach the sniper by climbing the ruins, but her efforts only lead to a fall. Miguel quickly returns to the hotel, grabbing his sniper, but he's completely unaware of Electra's presence. Upon Robert receiving his money, the bank manager accompanies him out of the bank. Miguel, who has been waiting at the window for the perfect shot, finally sees Robert emerge, but as he is determined to pull the trigger, Electra shoots him in the shoulder and falls to the ground. Robert rushes to the building to rescue Electra upon hearing the gunshot sound. A fierce gunfight ensues between both sides, with Robert ultimately overpowering Miguel by shooting him from an upper window. Miguel's injuries are severe, and he can no longer fight. As Robert prepares to finish him off, suddenly Robert's friend Nikolai appears, pointing a gun at them. It turns out that Nikolai was the contractor for both Robert and Miguel and had staged the bank shooting 15 years ago to set up Robert. He knew where Robert would shoot him, so he wore a bulletproof vest to survive. Nikolai faked his death to hide temporarily since the Cold War ended, and he didn't want to face prison for his crimes. The disc contains sensitive information that could incriminate him if it reaches the police, so he plans to kill Electra as well. Realizing Nikolai intends to kill all of them, Miguel and Robert start firing at Nikolai before turning their guns on each other. Miguel lowers his gun first, pretending to make peace with Robert. Robert says he's retiring, and this is the end of his story, meaning Miguel will become the top assassin. However, Miguel knows that as long as Robert is alive, he won't truly be number one, so he decides to kill him. With the help of Electra's mirror, Robert sees Miguel's reflection and shoots him multiple times from behind. Robert thanks Electra, and as they prepare to leave, Electra takes Nikolai's money and the disc, planning to start the new family together. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.